Welcome to Voices of the Plaza, the podcast, hosted by Peggy MacArthur. This is where we amplify stories of empowerment, innovation, and success from the heart of the Global Business Plaza. Each week, Peggy introduces us to one of the creative business people, entrepreneurs, and industry experts who are shaping their fields and redefining success. Together, we'll explore unique journeys, highlight remarkable expertise, and uncover the inspiration behind their success.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just had some really fun internet challenges, so we are glad to be here. Welcome to Voices of the Plaza. And I have Aisla with me today, and it's always exciting to hang out with Aisla. One of the things that we wanted to talk about today was Aisla's new project. Aisla's doing courses and helping other people do courses. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Thank you, Peggy. Well, and I'm very excited about this. It's a project that's been a year in the making, and it came up. I work with a lot of folks and hang out in the Global Business Plaza and talk to a lot of different entrepreneurs. And there's a real interest in people being able to share their information and a lot of questions about the ways to do it. Both the delivery methods in terms of protecting your IP, as well as the simplicity or not simplicity of it, and getting lost in the noise. You could, like, Udemy is a great platform, but there's so much on there. It's not as focused as we might like it to be. So I got a platform and I started putting things together. And it, obviously, you and I have this in common. It's always fun to learn something new. However, it really feels like such an aligned opportunity to lean into the thing I love to do, which is amplify what people are doing and help them make connections, because your expo onboarding is on there, and
the Global Business Plaza onboarding is on there now.
Right. And so and one of the things that we talked about that you've arranged to have me provide for the current premium members of the Global Plaza is the ability to have a very simple course for what they're up to. So Debbie Styling has some of her onboarding on there as well. And it's a way for people to then find and connect with the other, like if someone comes to get yours, they might notice her membership and go check it out or something like that. And so for me, that feels really aligned to have people who are doing these really neat things and these very helpful things to have opportunities both to share their knowledge and then also to have a marketplace where they can easily sort of find other like-minded potential learners or customers.
Yeah, it's a place where several different courses are in one hub. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just helpful for you as an individual, but as a member of the Global Business Plaza, as people come into your course, they see the other courses. And because it's part of the onboarding, so everybody's going to see everybody's mm-hmm. course when they first come in. And I thought that it was really generous and awesome that you were like, hey, I'll give everybody a basic course, because not everybody needs a 27 module course. Some people just need a little course, and it's a good way to gamify things. It's a good way to get people involved, and you can actually make sure they're getting the information they need to move forward in whatever you're doing. But like my history in photography, and I am really a stickler about IP, about copyrights, about trademarks. Like mm-hmm. that's like anybody that's hung out with me for a second knows I'm going to harp about, like, do you have the right to do that? That's not yours. Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because it's really important. And we live in a day now where a lot of times, a lot of these places that host courses are like, you can host it here, but we own your intellectual property. Mm-hmm. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm paying you and you're taking my stuff?
Yeah. No, and that was something I saw. I had two clients who have proprietary, much like you have the Headshot strategist curriculum. They have curriculums and information that they've developed over years of experience and effort. And we were trying to find a way to offer this information to people so they didn't have to always be live, both for them because they could offer it to more folks, but also they could offer it at a lower price because they have to charge a lot to be able to work with someone directly one-to-one. And I was super excited about it. And I investigated several different platforms. And I was really surprised at the ways that some of them did. They charge you 50 or $100 a month to host the course for the same reason that I'm talking about, because as someone comes to check out someone else's, they'd be able to see yours if it was aligned. So there's a marketing piece to it that's very valuable. However, they had something in the fine print that said, oh, by the way, this is our IP now. And it's like, I was like, no, we can't do that. And then with the rise of AI and the crawling that they're doing on things, being able to turn that off. So on mine, it does mean that it's less available in terms of the search engines. However, I did turn off the search engines having access to anything that's hosted in this platform. Now, does that fully protect? I'm not a programmer, so obviously I don't have a full on clarity around all of it. But these are things I can put in place that say, nope, everything you have in there belongs to you. You can remove it at any time. It's yours. And every way place that I have the ability to put that wall up between you and anyone that's trying to crawl things, I will do that, which, and hopefully that's enough to give some semblance of protection, because right now it is really kind of a free for all, and that can be very challenging. And additionally, there are protections you can do, like people can't just download it. Because I have one client who is trying to figure out, like, how do we deliver this to people and not have them, inside, obviously, the people we know, it's one thing, but there's a larger circle of it we want to reach. And who hasn't had someone send you something that they didn't really have the right to send you? And so questioning, like, how do we create ease of access for people while also creating some form of protection for the person who's offering the information?
So one thing I know for a fact, as a photographer, if somebody wants to steal your information or steal your program or steal your images, they're going to do it.
Yep, that's
But
happening.
But what we can do is make that as difficult for them as possible, because the general public are not malicious. There are those few out there, but the general public, they're not malicious. And if you put a couple of roadblocks up, they'll be like, oh, they don't want me to do this. Okay, move on. And so I think that's what you're doing is best practices, like the things that you can do, you do. And I think that not being ignorant to things like who owns your IP, not being ignorant to is AI going to be allowed to crawl this and to train off of my intellectual property, all of those things, that's what brought me to GoBrunch, because a little over a year and a half ago, the platform I was using for video conferencing, starts with a Z. They changed their privacy policies and said that, hey, we own anything that you teach or say on our platform, we own, and we're going to sell it to AI to train AI. And I was like, no, opt out.
Yeah.
And it said, okay, you can opt out, but if anybody in your room is not opted out, we still own your AI and your IP, and we're still going to feed it to train AI. And I was like, well, there's always going to be somebody in the room that didn't opt out because they didn't read it or they didn't think about it. So I immediately left, and that's how I came to GoBrunch, because GoBrunch gives me authority over who owns what and what kind of privacies do I want to set in place. And it allows me to create that without being at the whim of a billionaire that wants to change the rules or block me or block the way I'm doing things or sell my information. So that's, I think that it's really important in the day and age that we live in to be aware of these things and not just blindly, walk through and click approve, accept, and move forward all the time. Like, spend some time and really think about, because this is your intellectual property. This is things that you've learned over years and years of experience and training in your own life. You don't want to just give it away. Yeah. And I think that that's really what was important to you as well. And I love that you're like, hey, I'm not promising you that nothing's ever going to happen. However, I am putting up all the roadblocks that I can put up.
Yeah. When it goes with that theme of a business as unusual that I have in my podcast, and in terms of saying, I'm actually, you said something, I think it was actually in the onboarding when I was putting it up, or no, it was in the podcast you were on a while back, where you talked about business being a team sport. And I'm right there with you. I feel like as a collective, we do better when we work together and support each other. And most people are actually really generous with their time and their talents. And so for me, that feels like a very important thing to honor and say, okay, you want to share these things with people, you want to make it accessible, and I want to do what I can to help get that out there, and also help do some of that research so you don't have to. Because that's the other barrier that people have expressed is they've already created this awesome curriculum. They've done the work to develop that. They have clients, they have a business they're running, and learning one more platform, learning one more way to put things together. It just feels kind of overwhelming. And it's not, a lot of them even love figuring things out. It's just they've maxed out kind of on all the things that they want to figure out, because they don't want courses to be their business. They want their business to be their business, and they want to offer maybe a few courses to bring people in, or to, like I said, make more information accessible. And that's really who I think is going to be most benefited, is someone who's in that position, knows that they have something to offer, and wants to give that information or sell it to kind of get it out there generally, and doesn't really want to have to figure out, how do I get it uploaded? How do I implement it? They just want someone to kind of handle that for them. And that's what I would do.
And not only that, but you actually train people how to break it up into a course, because that's the thing too. Like, we can all teach things, and we can all, do workshops or seminars or whatever, but to be able to put it into a course where people can make sense of it and learn from it is a gift in itself. That's its own talent. And to you, that's just something that's like natural. You're like, oh, this is how we do this. This is, it looks easy. And even the onboarding stuff, I was like, here's all the things I say, and here's a roadmap of, what needs to happen. And you just broke it all in and took the videos I had and cut them up and, put them where they needed to be. And boom, there we have an onboarding. And then we repeated that for the expo, the upcoming expos. They'll be onboarding through this program process, or the course process. The other thing that people can do is they can gamify this. Like, people can get points for completing different, different tiers and different assignments. And if we know anything, we know that people love to be challenged. Like, it could be a mythical thing that they win, just the street cred that they win, but they want to win it,
Who's got the most points?
Who's got the most points? So you don't have to overthink it, but you can still make it fun. And people, even if it's literally so-and-so is top, these are the points to beat or whatever, like that's, we all love that. We all grew up playing games and, getting points, and we love that. So it's kind of fun that you can incorporate that. And what you've offered to the Global Business Plaza people is like, for free, just for being a member of the Global Business Plaza, they can host a mini course, right?
So for the premium members of the Global Business Plaza right now, because of the arrangement that you and I have, they can do a mini course. And I have an onboarding course, or I shouldn't say that. I have a little create your course. It kind of walks them through the process so that they know what they have to fill in, and can get me all the artwork so I can set it up. And yeah, they can just have that up there. Now, that's if it's a free course. If they're charging for it, I do have to charge for that, because it's complicated. I won't get into it right here, but I could explain that to anyone who's curious about it. But if you have a simple lead generation course, or just here's the basics of what I offer, or like an onboarding course for here's how you set up your membership. And especially for me, I thought about it because GoBrunch is a new platform, and there are some little tricks to it that are not totally obvious until you're a little bit more familiar with it. I thought, wouldn't that be nice if you could send them something that they're already familiar with? People understand how courses work, and they can go through and figure out the parts that are like, oh, I didn't understand that this feature was here, or this is why I can't find people that I thought I had added to my friends list, or whatever that is. So that was kind of the inspiration for the Global Business Plaza offering, is to help people, especially with the GoBrunch thing, just give something that's their brand too,
Mm-hmm.
but will give them that little tiny bit of extra bridge between what they're used to and this new, I think I'm with you, really great platform. But it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah. And I think that, again, back to the whole business is a team sport. I've been, yeah, I've owned my own business my whole life, my whole adult life. Like I started when I was 22, I opened my first business. And I've always, I've had a couple of side hustles, but I've never had a regular job more
Yeah.
than, I've never collected a paycheck more than maybe a couple of months here and there when it was like an odd job, just, either I'd moved and was still building up clientele or something like that. And so I spent a lot of time alone,
Yeah.
thinking that I had to do everything on my own
Mm-hmm.
and feeling like I was like maybe not enough, or I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't, clever enough. I wasn't good enough a photographer. I wasn't something. I wasn't enough of something. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was struggling. But the truth is, I was struggling because I was alone. And
Yeah.
it's a struggle when you're alone. When
Mm-hmm.
you have somebody else to just kind of give you someone to bounce an idea off of, to show you what you're not seeing because they're seeing it from a different perspective. And when you have that, then the struggle is less because you're sharing the weight. And and I think that's the beautiful part about the Global Business Plaza is that we all come together and we help each other.
Yeah.
And same with these courses. Like when you came to me with this proposal, I was like, yeah, because when people onboard into the Global Business Plaza, they're going to see all the members of the Global Business Plaza and what they offer and, all
Mm-hmm.
these things. Like that's like the first thing they're going to see is our community and how strong we are and how brilliant we are. And they'll be like, oh, wow, like I feel like I can do this because look at my team. Like I'm now part of a team.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, for me, where the power really lies.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I know that's one of the reasons that I felt so aligned with you from the beginning, is that attitude of I win when you win. And I think it took me a long time to also include like I want to win also, because I had that a little bit too much focus on other people's success instead of really recognizing actually this is a team sport. We all get to succeed. It's okay. And
Weird. I don't know. I don't know what that feels like. This is so weird that you
you would
had
never
that
know that.
problem,
I
Isla.
know.
It's
All
so
right.
weird.
It's so weird. I know. It's yeah. But for me, that was what part of why this was so exciting, to realize that I can offer the service and help people, and it'll also be lovely for me, and I'll get to see what everyone's doing, which I just have a lot of fun with that. And I loved the other day, Peggy sent out an expo. The next expo is in June, and she called me and she said, "Did you put out the people in the course? Because I'm already getting things." And I was like, "It's working. That's amazing."
So let's just talk about the expo. So the expo happens every quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually announce it, about 2.5 months before it happens, so people have time to, get their rooms ready and their presentations ready and their, offers ready. And literally, we've done 5.
Mm-hmm.
We just celebrated our 1 year, and I've never ever gotten people's information before, like at the earliest 10 days before the expo.
Yeah.
And I just sent out the invitation and I've already gotten 2 people's information.
So awesome.
And I was like, are people going through the onboarding? Because they're sending me stuff and I'm freaked out because like I have everything ready except for that, that place for me to plug in everything, because I thought I had a couple of months before I had to worry about people sending me stuff. So I had to hustle and get my Trello board ready to start putting people's images and links in. And so I was like, wow, like that's crazy. And and to be clear, like onboarding for the expo is like 4 steps tops.
Mhm.
It's not like hard. But what I was doing before is just sending like a Notion page or a Google Doc with a checklist, and people still weren't doing it.
Mhm.
So this course, like, it works. People see it and they're like, oh, let me just do that now and get it out of the way so I can move on to the next thing.
Mhm.
So that was a big surprise to me, like a
Yeah.
huge, happy surprise. So think about if that were your business and you had a course telling people how they could work with you, and then they just called you and, set up whatever it was you wanted them to set up, and they started working with you, because that's the power of courses, which I've never. Now I have another friend, Kathleen Listen, who is a course master. Like,
Mhm.
she makes bank doing courses, but
Nice.
she has an accredited courses as well. So, she has
Mhm.
a lot of people, and she's for years told me, Peggy, you should do courses. And I'm like, that sounds hard.
Mhm.
That sounds hard. And I did make a course, and I didn't, I put it on a different platform, and I didn't make money off of it.
Mhm.
Um, but now I see the power of this. And again, with the team effort, because Isla did the research for us because she's a nerd and she likes doing that stuff.
It's true.
Isla figured out how to make it easy again because she likes doing that stuff. She likes like looking at the big picture, and like, she's my spreadsheet friend.
Mhm.
And I'm the like, ooh,
I have better lighting and you have better spreadsheets. It's a perfect
it's
match.
a perfect match. But she's really good at that. And so then she's like, well, how can I make this easy for people to make their own course? So she made a course, how to make your own course.
Mhm.
It's like, anyway, it's kind of genius. But I'm just saying that I've seen really good results. And I think that it's amazing. So if you have ever once thought like, I have a lot of information, I wish I could have like some sort of a course, but that seems overwhelming. Maybe it's not as overwhelming as you think it is. So maybe it's time to, talk to Isla here and see if she can't help you get a course out there.
Yeah, and we're gonna do next Wednesday. Actually, we're gonna do a 101. Turn your expertise into experience. Brainstorm your course. So if you're thinking I have something, but I really don't know if I have something, we can hop in. It's not, we're just going to go through it a little bit, and then we're going to do one about 3 weeks later on sort of how to outline it. And the goal being that if there's something that you feel like is repeatable and useful for people, and like what Peggy said, if there's something in your business that you think would be useful to offer folks in that way, we can kind of sit down and come up with a few of those tips and tricks for you. And then for people that need a little more support, I also have been working to identify folks that can help with curriculum design and recording and things like that, because I'm going to do mostly like the setup and kind of walking through the basics. If you're looking for a little bit more than that, I have people I can refer you to, so that way you can go from thought to execution in even just a couple weeks. That one of the people that's working on it, and she's been thinking about courses for 2 years, is halfway through and expects to have it done and beta launched within 10 days and then fully live within 2 weeks, which is, I think, great for her.
Yeah. And so, if you've ever thought like that would be cool, but I don't have that in me, go to the thing next Wednesday and see, like, brainstorm, because you may be leaving money on the table. And not
Mm-hmm.
only that, but it's not, me, I feel like you should make money. I think everybody should be making money.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're not giving what you have inside of you out to other people, you're kind of stealing from them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have something that somebody needs and you're keeping it to yourself because it's not perfect yet, I don't know how to do that. I don't know if it's good enough. And it's actually perfect and somebody needs it and you're not giving it to them, then you're making their process slow down. You're a stumbling block to their journey. So if you think you might have something, let's talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. Give me a ping. I'm in the plaza. Obviously.
Yes.
Peggy knows where to find me.
Go to the globalbusinessplaza.com and you can find Isla on the top left. She is the first business in the plaza as you scroll down. So, and you can get in touch with her. Go to the directory and look up Isla. Is it under by Kieran, I believe?
Yeah.
And you have your contact information, scheduling calendar, and everything right there. So easy to find, easy peasy.
Yeah, I really excited. I just think there's a lot of opportunity here, and I'm just excited to see what people come up with. I think it's going to be a really fun adventure.
I think so too. And I'm excited that you decided to do this and bring me in on it. So thank you for letting me share in your geniusness.
Well, thank you for the same as always. I appreciate you.
Do you want to say anything before we close this off? Do you want to leave one final thought or?
No, I just take care of each other.
Take care of each other. It's rough out there sometimes, guys.
It's gonna be.
Thank you so much. I will see you next Thursday, and I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of Isla as well. You guys have an amazing week. Keep being your amazing, brilliant self. Connections are everything. Come connect and find the opportunities that are waiting for you. I'll see you soon.